You actually could not make this stuff up. You just could not. Hello my beautiful friends and welcome back. So today I'm back with another revealing your secrets / confessions. So the last one I did was sex secrets. This is just general secrets and confessions. So we've got a little bit of everything in here. You guys sent these in over on my Instagram, so do follow me over there if you want to expose yourself for the next video. Of course I keep absolutely everyone anonymous, so don't worry about that. Or if you want to leave a secret or confession down below, work away. I've decided that I am going to make these a regular upload on my channel because I enjoyed them. You guys really enjoyed the last one I did, so let's just dive right on into it. I'm going to scooch myself over this way so you can read along if you want. Okay, I dream about dating men in their 40s / 50s. I'm 20. I've never been one of these girls. Like, I know so many girls fascinate about older men and I've just never got it because they're old enough to be your dad, and that's what freaks me out. Like, you know, your dad is probably in his 40s or 50s. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I suppose for a lot of girls it's more like the success, like if they're a daddy, like they're a proper daddy, like you're not just calling them a daddy, they actually have got kids, do you know? I humiliated men online for a profitable living but stopped because my son is growing up. Missed that money though. This is actually such a huge thing that goes on, and it tends to be like really successful men that are very high up in their job and they've got a lot of responsibility and stuff, so they just like the other side of it, I suppose. Get that money, yes, like just sitting in your bed like absolutely humiliating these men, and they're getting off on it and they're paying you. Like, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Okay, so this girl took it to the next level. I had a fuck buddy relationship with a 46-year-old. I'm nearly 20, but we started when I was 18. My only concern here would be that he was taking advantage of you, because if you just turned 18 when you guys started, like, why was he interested in that? Like, why is a 46-year-old man wanting to get with an 18-year-old girl? I really hope he wasn't taking advantage of you, because when you're 18, like, you're still figuring yourself out. You don't really know who you are, whereas he has so much life experience at that age and he completely knows who he is. So I don't know about that. I know one of my classmates' Facebook password and I used to read her messages for some time. Stop! No, you didn't. I want to know why you know her Facebook password though. Like, were you like peeking over her shoulder one day when she was typing it in, or did she just like tell you? Oh my god. I feel like that is just not okay. Like, that is invading someone's privacy on a whole nother level, especially if she didn't know you knew her password. Like, I would... Jesus, I'd be fuming if I knew someone was doing that. I needed to pee while drunk in my boy's car, so went behind a wall, which I realised was a flat entrance, so had security cameras right where I peed. This has also happened to me. I remember I was coming back from some event and Nathan was driving us back and I was bursting for the toilet, and like, imagine this, right? So I was all dressed up, all glam, full face of makeup, hair all done, big fancy dress, not a big fancy dress, but like a long nice fancy dress, heels, and I was like, Nathan, you're gonna have to stop. And you gotta go. And I literally peed behind this garage, like not really caring, and there was cameras and also a man walked by while I was mid-pee. So that was lovely. I paid my sister's piece of shit ex-boyfriend $10,000 to get out of her life. Best money spent. So did he blackmail you? Like, did he turn around and say, give me $10,000 and I'll get out of her life? Like, was that the case, or did you just like offer him the money because he just wouldn't leave her alone? Because if he blackmailed you, you could literally like bring that further. Like, you could bring that to the police. Like, asking for $10,000 to get out of someone's life, like if he was being abusive, whether that was mentally or physically or whatever the case was, that is just crazy. But one thing I will say is you are one hell of a good sister, and to be honest, I would probably do the same if it was a last resort. Respect. Oh, no. No. Oh my god. Okay, I'm going to break up with my boyfriend but have to stay with him until 2021 for money reasons. I mean, you do you and all that, but this is something that I just don't agree with. Flip the tables and imagine if it was the other way around and you were madly in love with this boy, seeing a future with him and all, but he was just staying around for another year because of money. That would be heartbreaking thinking, even though I know you probably won't tell him, like when you break up with him, he probably won't be aware of this. I don't understand though, because I know like years and years ago, you know, the men were kind of like the bread makers and they'd go out and work and bring the money home, and the women would stay home and clean and cook and all. But I kind of feel like in this day and age it's not really like that anymore, and like in a relationship you tend to like split it 50-50. So what is he paying for? Like, why do you need his money? Like, can you not just get the COVID payment if you're not working and then tell him that you don't want to be with him? Like, I just don't feel like this is the right way to go about it. Sometimes when I have sex with my boyfriend, I imagine I'm having sex with celebrities. Is this normal? Well, to be honest, what is normal? Like, what is normal? I honestly don't think there is such a thing as normal, but I've never done this. I've actually never been in a relationship and imagined myself having sex with someone else, because I feel like if that was the case, I'd be like not wanting to be with them. Like, I feel like if I'm in a relationship, like I'm so attracted to that person, and like, you know, I like to be very present during sex and like eyes open looking at them, etc. So I feel like if you were imagining you were having sex with celebrities, does that mean your eyes are closed? I know this is definitely something people do, like whether it be masturbating over someone else in a relationship, etc., but it's just never been something I've done, so I don't really get it. But like, you're not doing any harm, like you're not cheating on them or anything, but maybe ask yourself, why do you need to think about someone else? Like, why aren't they turning you on enough? Do you know? I don't know. I'm the only one in my family that knows my mom had an affair. I want to know, did she tell you, or did you catch her out and then she like asked you to keep it a secret? This is like my worst nightmare, is like getting married and settling down, having a family with someone, like being so content, happy, and then finding out that they've been having an affair. Like, I know stories of people who were having affairs for like 10, 11, 12 years, never finding out. Like, that is just mental to me. That is like, oh, scares the absolute shit out of me, that does, because I know how common people having affairs is. But like, I'm just like, if you're not happy, just leave. Like, why not just leave? Like, you're making life so much more difficult for yourself by having to like sneak around doing this, because you're gonna have to be constantly making sure you don't trip yourself up, and you're gonna have to be constantly on top of your game. What I wouldn't be able to do is like go out having an affair, then come home to your husband or wife and just act like everything's okay. Like, I am the worst liar you will ever meet. Like, I can't lie for shit. So I feel like I just come home and I'd be like, I'm so sorry, I slept with so and so, I don't know why I did it. Like, I wouldn't even get to the affair bit because I'd just be spilling what happened as soon as I came home. I have had a friends with benefits situation with my old high school teacher. You were living a movie scene, my darling. Actually living it. Like, does this stuff actually happen? Like, I feel like it happens a lot more than you know, because it'd be kept so quiet, but it definitely happens on the regular. Been with my boyfriend for 5 years and he still doesn't know I lost my virginity with him. My heart. Why? Why didn't you tell him? I know at the start you were probably like ashamed to tell him that you were still a virgin, which you should never be. Like, that is nothing to be ashamed about. That is nothing to keep from somebody. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Do you know what? If I were you, I'd just tell him. Like, what have you got to lose? You guys are obviously so solid. You have clearly been through a lot. Like, in 5 years, you would have been through a lot in your relationship. This could be it for you guys. Like, this could just be your life partner now, and you could get a house and settle down and all that stuff. Like, you don't really want to be carrying that on your shoulders, because it's something that's always going to be in the back of your head. And I feel like he'd be so understanding as to why you didn't tell him at the beginning. I honestly think he would be so happy to know that, and like, you know, he'd get why you didn't tell him the truth at the start, because you didn't know if it was going to go anywhere. Do you know what I mean? I have different personalities from my mum and dad's side of the family. One is my real. Do you know what? I don't even feel like this is that uncommon. Like, I feel like most people will get along with one side of the family better than the other, so therefore they're not going to be like their complete selves, or like if there was some family history there or some stuff that you know and you're a little bit more reserved in front of them family members. I think that's quite normal. When I was depressed, I used to steal, even hiding dresses under my clothes. This is something else that I feel like is quite common if somebody's in like a really dark place. Not even just stealing, but when people are really depressed or going through like a lot mentally, they can tend to do things that make them feel a little bit more alive, whether it be like they just want to release, or they just want to feel a rush of like happiness, or a rush of some sort of emotion. Because a lot of the time when you're depressed, I know anyways, you can feel very numb and very empty, and you're not really feeling emotions. So people can tend to do things to try and make themselves feel something. Now, this one, this one has me a little bit freaked out. I'm secretly in love with your brother. My brother. Do you know my brother? You do realise my brother's in a relationship, a long-term relationship, and he's very happy. How are you in love with him if you don't know him? Peed on my friend when I was drunk and have no memory of it. Do you know what? One thing I am so proud of in my life is that I have never peed anywhere when I was drunk. Never peed the bed. That's a very common one. I know so many people who've peed the bed when drunk, but I've never peed anywhere when I was drunk, and I feel like I deserve a medal for that one, because I've been extremely drunk a few times in my life. I'm 18 and I still suck my thumb. It's just so comforting, I can't stop. Well, I sucked a dodie, like, do you know, like, I don't know if that's what you call them in other countries, but I used to call it a dodie, a soother, until I was like 11 or 12. I was really old. If it brings you comfort, it brings you comfort. There's nothing wrong with that. I masturbate with my electric toothbrush and it's amazing. I really hope you're not using that toothbrush to brush your teeth after, because if you're using your toothbrush to brush your teeth and then you're using it as a vibrator, you are literally just asking for an infection. You are screaming, give me an infection, please. I feel like an electric toothbrush would be like a little bit too intense or harsh, because it's not made to go down there. So I feel like long term that could like really irritate you down there. I'd invest in a vibrator if I was you. This just fascinates me, absolutely fascinates me, okay? I'm a fully grown adult and I most definitely have my own world built in intricate detail. It's full of people with full-on personalities and I spend most of my time in my head because of it. I have my own different persona, name, story, etc. to go with it too. Like, wow. Okay, I read this and I was like, let me in your brain. Let me in your brain, please. And also, I wish I was capable of doing this, because I feel like I'd be so much happier. You know, they wouldn't let you down. Like, you know, they wouldn't let you down. Like, people just let you down all the bloody time. Like, especially lately, I've been going through a real thing with like friends. Like, most people aren't really your friends, and I'm starting to realise that, and it's really shit, and a lot of people just are out for themselves. So, I mean, if it works for you, I want to know how this started. Like, were you young? What age were you when this be going? Like, how many people are there in that world? Like, what are their names? I need to know. I need more detail. My biggest secret that no one knows is that my ex broke up with me after 11 months. I was so hurt, I think she meant to say, and his best friend used that to seduce me to sleep with him, and for my biggest shame, I did it, and it was the worst sex in my life. This is such a common thing that happens, like, after somebody gets out of a relationship, like, they'll just sleep with, like, one of the first people that they kind of get the chance to, and it tends to be really awful sex. Like, I remember after my first relationship, the first person I slept with, I literally went home and cried for the whole night. Like, I regretted it so much, because most of the time, you're not over that person in any ways yet, and you think that this is going to help, but most of the time, it does the complete opposite, and makes you feel way worse, because you're not healing, and you just weren't ready to open yourself up and be vulnerable like that. So I completely get this. I've never gotten with like my ex's friend or anything like that, but look, you live and you learn, isn't that it? I learned a lot after sleeping with someone after my first relationship. Like, it was like a couple weeks later, but it was way too soon, and I was just like so hurt, so upset, and that was something that I never did again, and I would never do again. So look, you learned something. Stop. Okay. I do my own acrylics, and sometimes the glue was a bit sketchy. The guy I was dating finally came back to mine and all was going well. One thing led to another and I go down on him, and you know, just start like surveying the area. Surveying! Surveying! Next thing I know, he's going, go on then, and my finger is up his arse. He's enjoying it. I'm through mild bewilderment, also enjoying it. It's only afterwards that I notice the nail is missing from my index finger. Like, shit, literally, what the fuck, help. So I'm casually looking around the bed going, have you seen my phone? Praying that this fingernail turns up, nowhere to be found. Like, what do you even do? Do I go in for round 2 and try and fish it out like a claw machine? The guy is noticing me panic by now, so I just spend the rest of the night hiding my finger so he doesn't put 2 and 2 together. Oh, that has to be the most embarrassing moment of my life. This is by far my favourite confession / secret I have received out of one of you guys. Like, I cannot. What I find hilarious is that the next day he probably went to do like a shit and this nail just came out. Like, oh my god, the pain of that. Like, right, I've got nails on. These are gel though, they're not acrylic. I think acrylic are even worse. Like, gel are a lot more softer and you can bend them, whereas acrylic are a lot more hard, like you can't bend them. Imagine how painful that would be going to the toilet the next day. Like, you'd actually be cut from the inside out. What I want to know is why he even let you put your finger up there with nails like this. Like, girl, didn't that hurt as it was? Like, surely that hurt. Like, you actually could not make this stuff up. You just could not. Okay, and on that note, I'm going to leave it here. So make sure to give the video a thumbs up, comment down below, and leave any secrets or confessions down there if you want to as well. These videos honestly brighten up my mood so much, so much. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so very much, and I will see you guys super duper soon. Bye bye!